AITA for walking out of my own engagement party and going straight into lawyer mode after what his family said and what I found in the documents. At my engagement party, my fiancé's sister stood up in front of our friends and family and announced the traditions I'd be expected to perform for his parents: Sunday family dinners, kitchen duty, and managing their household accounts. When I asked my fiancé what his time's responsibilities would be, he stared at his plate and told me I was taking it too literally. When I got home, his mom texted that I'd officially start as our little helper. By Monday, I learned the paperwork on the home I mostly paid for gave him the power to sell it without my signature. I'm Emily Venknev, an architect. My fiancé Daniel Trentem is a financial analyst. His sister Jessica, 35F, has always been intense, but I chalked it up to protective older sister. Looking back, I ignored how often she assigned women in the family to do things while the men sat and smiled. At the party, Daniel's dad handed the mic to Jessica. She toasted me, then said a family like ours runs on more than blueprints, and listed what she expected: help mom in the kitchen, take over the household accounts, keep dad's golf schedule straight, and be the point person for family communications. The room went silent. Even Daniel didn't look at me. I stood up and said, "Thanks for the detailed vision of my future. 2 questions. First, are these documented traditions or your personal expectations?" She said, "It's how our family works." Then I turned to Daniel. "In this structure, what exactly is your role?" He muttered, "I'll be providing." I asked, "Providing how are you taking on half the accounts, learning the recipes, doing your dad's calendar too?" Daniel's face went tight and he said, "Sweetheart, Jess is excited. Can we just enjoy the party?" That's when I realized enjoying the party meant smiling through being volunteered. I set my champagne down, grabbed my purse, and walked out. That night, my phone blew up. Daniel texted, "You really embarrassed my family," and kept insisting I was being childish for leaving. His mom's message about me starting as their little helper was the part I couldn't get past. I sat in my apartment in an old sweatshirt, wondering if I was losing my mind or if they were really this comfortable treating me like staff. I couldn't sleep, so I logged into our joint checking account. We both auto-deposit the same amount monthly. I found a transfer labeled loan repayment to J. Wright for $1,500 from the prior month. Daniel had never told me he was loaning his sister money out of shared funds. I called my friend Chloe, a divorce attorney, and said, "I need you to look at something before I marry him." Around 6 a.m. the next morning, Daniel let himself into my apartment with his key and set 2 coffees on my kitchen island. When I said, "You let yourself in," he shrugged. "Half my stuff is here," he insisted. Jessica didn't mean it like that, then snapped that I was so sensitive and turning it into a feminist manifesto. When I asked again what *he times would be doing, he repeated, "Provider," and I reminded him I put $120,000 down on our Lincoln Park townhouse while he put in $25,000. When I brought up the $1,500 transfer, he got defensive and said, "It's not our money until we're married, technically." That technically made my stomach drop. I told him I was meeting Chloe later that morning and I wanted my key back. He laughed like I was overreacting. On Monday, Chloe pulled the property record. The deed looked like joint ownership until we found an attached land trust naming Daniel as the sole trustee, with power to sell, refinance, transfer without my signature. I felt physically sick. That night, Eleanor texted, "Dinner, 7:00 p.m. Don't be late." I went, hit record, and asked Daniel in front of his parents, "Did you know you were the sole trustee when we signed?" He stammered about liability and protecting the investment, and I stood up, said the engagement was over, and left. Later that day, Daniel filed an assignment giving his father 50% of the beneficial interest. So instead of fixing it, he spread it. After that, they offered me money to settle quietly, and Jessica showed up once to threaten my reputation if I didn't drop it. Chloe handled it. Within days, they agreed to sign the property over properly and reimburse me under a narrow settlement, and Daniel's key came back to me. Daniel says I blew up our engagement over a badly worded toast and paperwork. From my side, it was a public demand for unpaid labor, plus a financial structure that cut me out of control of a 6-figure asset I funded.